The conference is about sustainable food production and consumption, and in that conference people participate from all over Europe and from various groups. So we have a number of scientists, but we have also policymakers, and we have people coming from civil society organizations who all three in one way or another work on sustainable food and try to do something to make our food system more sustainable. And the conference is a bit different than other conferences, or different at least than scientific conferences, as we want it to be interactive and also give people the experience what it is to share knowledge with others. Because that is what the project was about. It was an experiment with knowledge brokerage between scientists, policymakers and civil society organizations. So what we did is, together with representatives of those three groups, set up so-called communities of practice around three teams where the three groups collaborated. On the one hand on short food supply chain, on urban food strategies, and the third on revaluing public procurement. And in those communities of practice, policymakers, scientists and civil society organizations met, talked, argued, and in the end produced a document, an action plan on how to make the food system more sustainable.
I'm Annemieke Canjels and I work for a regional government, so I'm one of the policymakers in the Foodlinks project. Of course, we had to first get to know each other as scientists and policymakers and practitioners, and this was indeed a strange experience, because you're so different, have such different backgrounds, that it really takes a while to understand each other's backgrounds and why you're working in the way you are.
I find really interesting that this project is more working on the policy side rather than probably in the research side, and also it's good to see practical examples on how the policymakers are implementing the research messages into their policies in the real life.
I think it was nice to be here at this final conference, which sort of summed up 3 years of work, working in different communities of practice, and not only working on this topic of sustainable food systems, but also learning how to set up collaborations between researchers, policymakers and civil society organizations.
I'm here to find out more about what's happening in lots of European countries and European cities around both urban food strategies and different strategies to be able to advance a healthy, sustainable food system. So I've been speaking to lots of interesting people from different cities and hearing some of the similar struggles that they're going through in terms of how to connect food issues within local government or other levels of government, how to make that link between civil society, private sector and government to be able to actually implement some things. So I've already got a few ideas and connections about specific things that I've heard from people in terms of moving forward with healthier food in schools, which is something that in Canada we're very much lagging behind Europe on, but also how to be able to embed a food strategy within local government, which is something we're a bit further along than many cities here.
We are here in Brussels because we present what we are doing, and I think what is really maybe the most interesting thing what we came to in Basel is the alliance building, because a lot of cities, they have like the same quantity of projects like we have, about 40 projects the last 3 years. But what we really have and what is really powerful is the alliance. We have like a rooftop organization which we call Urban Agriculture Network Basel, which represents the sum of all the projects to the government and to other associations and to the outer world. This makes really a strong civil movement which has a higher influence on what is going on in this area.
The reason why I'm taking part in this Foodlinks conference is to learn about experiences connected to our work and to our goals, to learn from them and also to share our own practice and our own experience. I think it's useful, especially for learning on those cases which are much more advanced and on which we can get deep research. And that's very useful because when we go back, we can explain and spread this data and this research that has been made all throughout the project of Foodlinks.
What I've learned from today, but also from the project in general, that working on concrete issues, writing something together, doing something together, is actually really important to get the interaction between stakeholders from different backgrounds to get it going, so that you collectively produce something. And I think then also together you have the skills and the expertise to make a document that also appeals, for instance, to policymakers, or with which civil society organizations can do something, and out of which we as researchers also can distract relevant questions for further research. So that has been, I think, one of the major accomplishments of this project.
If we share our forces and our knowledge and our insights and learn to collaborate, that is what we can achieve, a more sustainable, more equitable food system.